Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. So for today's video, I thought we would rewatch and kind of relive my labor and delivery vlog. Today is January 15th when I'm filming this, and so I went into labor on January 19th. So we're just around that same time this year that I was going into labor last year. Now, I have not rewatched my labor and delivery vlog, I think either since I uploaded it or since I sat down to film my labor and delivery story time. Now, I do have a full detailed story time of what I experienced. I think I filmed that maybe like a month after or even less that I gave birth. And so I go into detail about what happened behind the scenes the day that I gave birth, whatever you guys didn't see in the vlog, or maybe you did see, but I just went into more detail. So I'm not going to go into detail today about everything that I experienced. My plan today is to rewatch this and relive it, make comments on it, give you guys maybe like funny stories or things that were going on that I didn't show in the vlog or didn't talk about in my labor and delivery story time. So if you have not seen my labor and delivery vlog, it's not that long, it's 13 minutes. I'm going to link that up here. I would advise you to watch that and then come back to this video so that you guys know what I'm talking about when I reference things that go on in the vlog. And then if you didn't see my labor and delivery storytime video and you want the full in detail story time of me giving birth to my twin sons, I will also link that up here for you guys to check out if you're interested. So with all that being said, let's jump right into the video. I am so excited to rewatch this. So I have my computer down here per usual. I have the vlog pulled up. My computer is plugged in because it is about to die. I have the video pulled up and we are going to just get right into it. Okay, so I remember sneaking off into the bathroom to start this vlog. Now, at the time, I didn't know if I was exactly in labor. I don't know if I talk about this in my labor and delivery storytime video, but I'd woken up that morning and my underwear were wet. Now, I didn't know if my water had broken. I really didn't believe that my water had broken. I kind of thought that maybe I peed myself in the middle of the night. I was so big at that time and the boys were pushing on my bladder so hard that I just thought it was more possible that I peed myself in the middle of the night than my water breaking. So I went that whole day. I remember I texted my mom, I texted my best friend who had just delivered her son a month before that, and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. And everyone said like, oh, just keep an eye on it, you know, if it's not like coming out consistently or anything like that, you know, maybe it's not your water. And when you think of your water breaking, you think of all the movies of it like rushing out of you and everything. But what happened to me was I woke up with my underwear wet that morning. Then we went that whole day. We were still moving into our house at this time. Harris had only slept there one night when I went into labor. I went into labor on a Sunday and I delivered the boys on a Monday. So he had slept there, I think like Saturday into Sunday. And so we had to go back to his house to pack up the rest of our things and move them into the house. And that whole day, nothing had happened. Nothing else had come out of me. I didn't feel any wetness until I bent down to pick up a suitcase and I felt something come out of me and I was like, didn't really feel like pee. Maybe my water did break. And so I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't say anything to his mom, his dad, Harris, no one, until we got in the car and we were going to go to Home Goods to buy a laundry basket. And that is when I texted my mom that it happened again. And I told Harris, you know, I think my water is breaking, but like I have no idea. And that started the long process of trying to get into contact with my OBGYN. Okay, so when I started the vlog, I said it was 3:30, and then I finally got into contact with my own OBGYN at like 6 something at night. That's how long it took for me to get into contact with someone because it was a Sunday. The office like wasn't open. So we finally got into contact with someone and we headed over to the hospital. And I remember the moment that he was like, yeah, just come in and we'll check. I hung up the phone and I just like looked at Harris and my mom and I was like, so is this it? Like, are we going to have our baby today? It was such a surreal moment. I just think it had hit me because I wasn't contracting. I didn't know if I was in labor. I didn't know if I was going to have them. I was just in pure shock that we were about to head over to the hospital and I already had all my stuff packed. We had to just wait for Harris to pack a few things. And I remember that drive over there. The hospital is maybe 10 minutes from where I live. I just felt like time was going so slow and I was trying to process in my mind that we are heading to the hospital. And I was 36 weeks at the time, which is not uncommon to deliver twins. So I knew it was very possible that I was going to be having the boys. Okay, so of course, when I got to the hospital, I did one last bump update just in case that was the last moment that I was going to have my bump, and it was, and I'm so glad that I took that last clip. And I also took a bunch of pictures so that I can like have like evidence of how big I was. I didn't really believe I was as big as I was until I look back at those pictures now, and I just say to myself, like, it's actually insane that my body was able to get that big. So at this point, Harris was going to like get our bags and everything because we still didn't know what was going on. He had to like move the car and everything. And so he wasn't in the room, my mom was in the room, I was getting changed into my gown, and then they were going to do a test on me to see if my water had broken. It was just like a simple swab. At first they had me cough, but nothing was coming out. Like I said, all day, it was not very consistent. And so they had to do a swab, and we had to wait for those results to get back. And so it was kind of still just like a waiting game at this point. Okay, so the funniest thing was that I had the swab taken. We were just like all sitting around like waiting for the results, and a nurse came in and she was like, okay, so we're going to start you on this antibiotic because we had not gotten my strep B, I think that's what it is, those results back yet. And so she's like, we're gonna start you on this and everything, and we're gonna do this and this and this. And no one had come in to tell me that my water had actually broken. So we were all sitting there like, so this means that my water really did break? And she's like, oh yeah, you're gonna have your babies today. And I was like, okay, well, this is it. Thank you for telling me. So they finally told me that, and then they also told me it was going to be a very long process, that it could take up to 24 hours because it wasn't contracting. We don't know whose water had broken. It had turned out, I think, that baby B, so Ben's water had broken super far up, and so that's why it was coming out very inconsistently because Jack was actually blocking the hole. And so, yeah, they basically like, we're gonna just start you on medication and it's gonna take up to 24 hours probably, and we're gonna see what happens. I keep having to stop the video because someone is waking up from their nap, and so they're like rolling around in there. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as I can with still enjoying it. I'm actually having fun rewatching this and seeing what happened, because even though like you never forget, you also don't fully remember. So I am enjoying this, but I do have to kind of get through this quick. Okay, so the medication that they had put in me, I believe, was Cervidil, and they told me I could eat after 2 hours, but then after that I couldn't eat again because, you know, you can't eat just in case you have to have an emergency C-section or anything like that. So we went in, we ordered food to the hospital, and we had gotten Five Guys, and I hadn't eaten Five Guys since like maybe high school. Like I rarely ever ate Five Guys, and it sounded so good. So I got this huge cheeseburger and fries, and Harris, my mom, and I went in and I devoured that whole thing, and I'm so glad that that was my last meal because it really kept me full for however long I needed to. I don't think I ate, so this at this point it was around like 10 o'clock I think that I was allowed to eat, and I didn't eat until like 12ish the next day, so it really wasn't that long. Like I said, they told me my labor was going to be like 24 hours, and it wound up not. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but it wound up surprisingly going a lot faster than we had thought or were told. Okay, so now I'm updating you guys, I think like the following morning. I think it is. It looks light in there. And I had said like a lot had happened, and I had mentioned Stadol, which is a medication that they gave me for the cramping that I was feeling. And I just want to say, I didn't think that they were going to give you anything that made you super loopy. I felt like you always had to be like there while you were giving birth. And they gave me this Stadol, and I felt so weird. I felt drunk almost. I guess you could say I felt drugged up, but I did not expect that at all. It took the pain away. I think I wasn't even there mentally. And when they gave me this, my mom and I were watching the ID channel, which if you know what that is, it's like true crime shows. And I was like in and out of sleep, feeling so weird watching these murder mysteries. And it was such a weird feeling and experience to have, like being so drugged up in labor, watching murder mysteries. And I did wind up getting the Stadol twice. So this is where I explained to how I basically went into labor on my own a lot faster than they thought. They had told me that they were going to give me the Cervidil and that they were possibly going to have to give me Pitocin to put me into labor, but the Cervidil wasn't even in me for as long as it was supposed to be in me, and I actually went into labor on my own, started contracting completely on my own. And we had sent Harris home at this point. My mom said, I'll take the night shift, you come back during the day, go get like your last bit of real sleep that you're gonna get for a while, and come back in the day and labor with her in the day, and I'll labor with her overnight. And my mom actually wound up getting like the shitty shift. She basically fully labored with me up until I got my epidural, because when I did get the epidural, Harris was getting back from his wonderful night's sleep. And so he got like the easy shift. My mom got like the shitty shift. But I basically went into labor on my own a lot earlier than they had thought, a lot easier than they had thought, which was a godsend for me. I didn't really want to go on Pitocin just because I feel like it's a little aggressive on your body, or it could be at least. So I was glad that I didn't have to get the Pitocin, and I was also glad that things were kind of going a lot faster than they were because I didn't want to sit in a hospital for days on end in labor. And so for me, my labor experience was really picture perfect. I could not have written down a more perfect labor experience, especially for a first time labor, a twin labor, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna just say it right now, I'm so glad my labor went how it went, which is a good thing. I'm very happy with it. I take every chance I get to tell the story of my labor when people ask me, you know, like friends, family, people who meet me, you guys. I literally always take the chance to tell my story because I'm so in love with my birth experience, but it also sets like a nice high expectation bar for if and when I get pregnant in the future. I'm going to think back and be like, I did this and this and this in my labor with my twins and it was so easy. And then if my labor doesn't go like that, if it's a singleton or if it's twins again, I'm gonna be let down. That's just like the type of person I am. So I'm like very glad that my labor experience was so picture perfect, but I'm also nervous to see the bad side of things if that is to happen in the future. Okay, so my position changed. That's because I had to get up and grab the boys. They are having some trouble with some naps, so they're gonna sit in here with me. I'm gonna get their bottle in a second so that they can drink while I try and finish up this video for you guys. And this is just my life right now with the boys. It's a little bit of craziness between teething and all that stuff. So quick intermission, I'm gonna go get their bottles, they'll lie here and drink, and we will try and finish up this video. Okay, so after I tell you guys about like an update of the night and I tell you guys Harris came back and I got my epidural, which that was a traumatic experience in and of itself. I'm not gonna talk about it here because I talked about it in my birth story. I cut to the next day where I gave birth to them, and I don't think I ever shared this little tidbit of what happened either in that video or in my labor and delivery story time. But basically when Harris got back and after I got my epidural, we I think went to sleep for a little bit, and then we woke up and I was like, oh, I feel a little bit of pain. Can I just get some more medication? Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to feel some pain. And so the midwife came in and checked me, and she had us all take, no touch, Bubby. She had us all take guesses as to what we thought I was dilated to. And when she said 10, Harris, his reaction was to run to the bathroom. He told me he had to pee, but I think he got a little nervous. I don't really know, but it's just so funny that when I think back to the moment that they told us that I was going to actually give birth, he ran to the bathroom. Okay, had to get up again to grab their bottles, but in the next clip, I tell you guys a little snippet of what went on. And I remember the second that I got a free moment, they had basically told us that they were gonna have to go to the nursery, and we sent all our family home saying that they were gonna go to the NICU and stay in the nursery and that no one could see them for some time. I think they told us an 8-hour observation, which actually wound up not happening. After we sent everyone out and I had a moment to myself to film this clip, they basically came in and they're like, never mind, your babies seem healthy and we're just gonna give them over to you. So that was also great that I didn't have to worry about a NICU stay. I'm so out of breath from grabbing their bottles. Also, I don't think I mentioned, I think I talk about here how we ordered food, and I ordered a baked potato, which the baked potatoes at the hospital were so good. I ate one every single day that we were there. But the first thing that I ate after I gave birth, I pushed those babies out, got wheeled back to labor and delivery. I didn't even go into my recovery room yet. We went back into the labor and delivery room where I was laboring the entire time. I had to give birth to them in an operating room. We went back in there. Harris's parents came back, his sister was there, my mom was there, and I think maybe his mom's friend. We went ahead and ordered food because I was starving, and your entire pregnancy you can't eat cold cuts, and the only thing I wanted was a cold cut sandwich, so I ordered a panini from this deli, which we still get from all the time. It was so good, and I downed that panini in 3.3 seconds. They were trying to get the babies to start breastfeeding, so I had 2 babies on me, a panini, I'm eating it over their heads. I had just accomplished the greatest thing in my entire life, and that sandwich was probably the best tasting sandwich that I've ever had. I think it's so funny to hear what women ate for the first time after pregnancy. So let me know down below, what was your first meal that you had after pregnancy? Mine was a panini sandwich. I think it was a Chipotle chicken panini sandwich. It was so good. And then I went ahead and I had a baked potato, and their baked potatoes were so good. I mentioned how it was weird to stand up. That was probably the weirdest sensation that I had my entire recovery, was standing up the first few times after giving birth because my stomach was so huge. Did you finish? because my stomach was so huge that I got so empty, and that like empty feeling to me was the weirdest feeling of them all. Labor and delivery, fine. Empty feeling after, literally disgusting to me. Okay, so then I of course show you the boys, and then I go into showing you what my body looked like postpartum, like my first day postpartum. And like I mentioned, I was huge when I gave birth, so I was still huge after I gave birth. That's also a misconception. I feel like a lot of young people don't realize that you have a bump for some time after you give birth. And it was like weird to see like how quickly it even shrunk down. Even like when I pushed Jack out, he was the first one to come out, it immediately like shrunk over Ben, and that was so crazy to see. It is so, yeah, Jackie, it is so crazy to see like what the boys looked like the first day after I gave birth, because they look nothing like that now. It's actually insane. And to me, they looked more different there than they look now. Come here, what's wrong? Do you want to say hi? They're still in their pajamas, but this is Jackie with milk on his face. Say hi, Jackie. The tease. This one is my little Harris. To me, he looks so much like Harris, even though some people don't see it. This is Jackie Booth. Benny, do you want to come say hi? Oh, excuse you. And this is my twin, my mom says. Benny Booth, hi. Say hi. Look, look. Did we look like? Say hi. So, that is the end of this video. I basically close out this video with a clip of the boys 24 hours after I gave birth. It was so fun to watch this, even though we got a little interrupted, but I think that this added something fun for you guys, because it's a video of me talking. It's a sit-down video. And I know a lot of you guys miss the boys when I film sit-down videos. So if you stayed till the end, you got to see Jackie boy, who has my computer charger. You got to see the boys. We made it work. This is just what my life is like now. So some videos are crazy and some videos are not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you have not seen this video or my story time, I will link those up there and down below for you guys to check out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video from me, crazy as it is, and we will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.